Rise and shine, family. Rise and shine. So the name of this live is are you ready to claim your true inheritance? Okay, I'm not going to be on live long. I want to be right and precise with what I say so you guys can get the message. I'm on my way to the mall. I got my sons with me. Easy back there doing his thing. But I want to talk to you guys about your true inheritance today, okay? I was just talking to you guys yesterday about how we all would have liked for our parents to leave us something, right? So life wouldn't have been so complicated. You know, we call it that silver spoon. Someone is left with an inheritance, a will, meaning that things that your parents or predecessors owned and worked for before your time, they now leave to you. And this gives you a launching pad to start for your life, right? But then now we come into this life after being stripped through colonization and slavery. Really, our parents, even if they were doing the right things in our lives, they didn't have time to amass wealth enough to leave us something, right? So we often come into this world, you know, having to get it out the mud, so to speak. Anybody know that feeling? Getting it out the mud. I'll give you guys some time to come on. I can't see any comments right now. Let me know if it's coming in clear, if you guys can, it's breaking up and whatnot, all that good stuff. It appears to be fine, but again, nobody's commented. Okay, there we go. Peace, brother from Sweden. I found it amazing that y'all just be from everywhere. I don't know a single soul in Sweden, so the fact that, you know, you're watching and being encouraged by me, man, it's just powerful. So thank you so much for allowing me to know that. That's inspiring. But if you guys know what it's like to have to get it out of the mud, to have to start from scratch, to have to fight for everything that you have, do you know what it's like, frankly, to come into this world without an inheritance, without something willed to you? So I want to talk to you guys today about what is your true inheritance. Because our parents and predecessors didn't leave us land and money and gold and things of that nature, a trust fund, is it true that they didn't leave us an inheritance at all? Okay? So if you are here, number one, I want you to go ahead and like this video, share it, do whatever you're going to do. But mainly I want you to comment and let me know if you would like to leave an inheritance to your children. Even if you don't have them right now, that's fine. Just when you think about it, so when you guys think about it, right, and think about what type of life and legacy you want to live, do you see yourself, if you have children, that you would leave them something, that you would... I think YouTube having some problems. Let me know if y'all can still see me. Maybe I'm riding through a certain area or something, but it's definitely moving really slowly. Someone said it's back. Okay. Family, basically what I was saying was, if you had a child, would you see yourself willing them something, leaving them an inheritance? Or would you see yourself just, you know, kind of leaving them how we were left? You know, like, don't take much thought for an inheritance. Just as long as I protect them and keep them safe while I'm alive, I don't really put thought into leaving them an inheritance. Or, you know, would you like to leave them an inheritance? Okay. ATL, I see y'all. Fort Worth, Texas. Peace to y'all. Try to wait on your answers. Okay, T Love says definitely an inheritance or a business or some property. Absolutely. That's what we typically would think of as an inheritance, right? A business, that's number one. If you can leave them a business, that's ideal, because that business is going to keep making money and your child would work the business. Okay, so you would leave the business to your child, let your child run the business. This keeps your child productive. Leaving them a bunch of money and a company to just own. Sometimes if the child is not capable You haven't put them through the necessary steps and training to prepare them. They'll just squander all of the savings that you left them because they didn't go through the work to get it. And so it's typically take it for granted. And it's just a scary thing. Like they say, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. So just leaving your children a bunch of money, it could be kind of like giving them a fish. It could be kind of like crippling them so they don't earn other skills to actually survive in life. And if something were to happen, man, they were to lose the funds that you left them, they'd be lost. So you definitely want to train your children to run your business. If you can do that, family, that's amazing, okay? Next, of course, money, trust fund for school, things of that nature for education to help them be better prepared for life, right? Property, right? Because property appreciates over time, depending on where that property is, okay? They can also learn how to manage these properties and increase the revenue overall, correct? Commercial properties, whatnot, houses, they can rent out, right? There's things of that nature. Right, North Carolina, what's up with you? I'm in North Carolina too. So Trevor says not just money, but wisdom. Woo, powerful. Because this is why I asked, family. The first things I named are what we call tangible things, right? Tangible things you can touch, things that are material, right? Business, land, money, trust fund. These things you can touch with your own hand in reality, but what about the intangibles, right? Mind, body. And body, why you say body? Trust me, I'm gonna get to it, family. Okay? But it seems that all of you guys are saying, I would love to leave an inheritance to my children. So the kicker is, it's time for you to get your inheritance first. Because you have one. You have an inheritance, family. And it's time for you to claim your inheritance so you can pass that on to your child, okay? Are y'all ready for this? Here we go. Regardless of who your parents are, regardless of the role they played in your life, they left you a mighty inheritance, okay? A powerful inheritance. Whether they left you land, property, or whether you feel like they left you absolutely nothing, your parents have endowed you with an inheritance, with a will, whether they know it or not. And whether you know it or not, you are leaving your children an inheritance, whether you know it or not, okay? So what is your inheritance then, right? Your inheritance, family, is your abilities, your skill, your character, your personality. Many of you know that you inherit your personality, your skill sets, your talents, and things from your parents, correct? Not just abilities, but your actual personality. Like you'll laugh like a father you never met, right? You could have grew up without your mother and find out that y'all have the same mannerisms. Y'all do the same type of things. Tell jokes the same way. I got to be around my father a lot as I was older and realized I acted just like him, even though I didn't grow up around him. One of those, that was mind-boggling to me. What did that mean? Right? Certain abilities that he has, he passed on to me. I didn't even have to work for him, and yet I can do them because he manifested them in himself, right? So in life, though, I'm upset with him because I'm like, he didn't leave me nothing. But in all actuality, he did. The very gifts and the skills that I call my own were actually passed down by him and the ancestors, my mother, of course, and the ancestors that preceded them. So you are holding your inheritance, your will. You're holding your inheritance and your will inside of you right now. The question is, what are you doing with it? Are you maximizing your abilities? Are you pouring yourself into your manifestations? Because let me tell you something, family. I said mind and body, right? Yes, you want to educate your child and give them all the necessary tools mentally that you can possibly give them. And in order to do that, you have to get rid of all the nonsense in your brain so you can make sure that you're not giving them unnecessary things. Make sure you separate the wheat from the chaff, the real from the fake, and you give your children the best of you, right? But once you do that, now it's in your DNA and your cells. How do you pass on the very best of you to your children? Family, did you know that even if you don't already have a skill, if you were to work hard on that skill, your body and your cells and your DNA will actually change to be able to do that skill more easily. And when you have children, you're passing that on. So even the work that you put into yourself, you pass on to your children, okay? your mentality, as much as you pour into your own mind, your own thought process, you pass these types of things on to your child. Many of you guys, if you guys have multiple children years apart, you can see the connection with the things that you were doing right before your child was born to how your child behaves. So you have to understand this science, okay? Oh, y'all better listen, because this is real today. We focus so much on just today and what we want right now in our lives, and we don't take any thought for our future selves. If we only knew that we are if we only knew that we were time machines, family, we are actually a time machine. Your future self is inside of you right now. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take more time now, since you know this fact, since you know now that you are a time machine and your future self is inside of you, you now are going to make sure that you split bodies, because you and whoever you have a child with, your child is a body between you and them. You see these boys right here? You see them? They are bodies between Jamie and I. You understand? So when you're in that process of manifesting your will and your inheritance for your child, it's going to be very important on who you choose to split yourself with, to join together in a union, a merger of two souls, a marriage, to create a body. You understand? Both of y'all together are going to leave an inheritance to that child. So you don't want to be working to leave your child all things positive, and then in a moment of weakness, you lay down with somebody who hadn't put the time in. They don't even vibrate on the same frequency as you at all. You just thought they were cute. And now all of a sudden you sharing a body with that person. See, this is what generational curses are. The things that we don't correct, we pass on to our children. So you can keep living your life and think you're getting away with it all you want to. All you're going to do is see those same attitudes and attributes show up in your child, and you're going to be mad at it, fussing at your child for the very things that you didn't work on in yourself, and now you want your child to stop doing it. Yelling at your child to stop doing something that you still do, but you want them to be the bigger man or bigger woman than you, and they break the generational curse, but you weren't willing to do it. You're not even willing to do it while they already here. You didn't do it before they were born. They're around you every day, and you still are not doing it. And I want you guys to know the life you live in front of your child still counts as will and inheritance that you leave to your children. How they see you live is how they see you. I done seen children, man, can't even unlock their DNA because they so upset at their children for how their children lived in front of them, how they treated their mama, how the mother treated the father, and the children are literally carrying generational sins in their own heart because they angry at their parents for not doing right by them. You don't want to leave your future selves angry at you because you didn't do right by them. They're not just kids. In fact, kid comes from Baphomet, a goat, which is a demonic being, a lower vibrational entity. Obviously, it's just symbolic. It's not a real being, but the Baphomet is recognized as the lower vibrational entity to the high vibrational entity, and whoever that may be. You see what I'm saying? It's the yang to the yin. But we're referring to lower self, to flesh, whenever we talk about the Baphomet. And so we use a goat to describe that Baphomet, or that lower vibration. And what do we call our children? We call them kids. Kids, literally little devils, lower selves. They're not your lower self. They're your future self. They are your only key to the future. A spider will give up their whole life just to breed. Why? Because that's his only ticket to the future. That's his only ticket to the future, and he's willing to sacrifice the body that he's in now so the future bodies of himself, his DNA, can access this future that he won't get to be a part of. And that's what we're doing. If you believe in one speck of reincarnation, who do you think you are? You are your ancestors reincarnated. Every one of them that came before you has taken part in willing you an inheritance. But if you don't unlock it, family, you're not gonna have it. See, I can leave my children my inheritance, but if they don't claim it and accept who they are, they'll never get it. They're gonna say, hey, Justice, are you Justice Wesley? Are you Israel Wesley? If they don't say, yes, I'm Israel Wesley, yes, I'm Justice Wesley, man, that inheritance, they don't get to unlock that. So a lot of us, man, we angry at our parents for displaying certain behaviors that was unproductive, but at the same time, if we don't accept that I am them, don't reject them, regardless of all the things they put you through or neglected you and failed you. Don't do that, because when you do that, you won't get your inheritance. Do you understand what I'm saying? You got to claim it all. I'm everything that came before me, good or bad, or I wouldn't be here. Some of us got here through rape, believe it or not. Some of us got here through colonization of masters taking on their slaves and sleeping with them. But that DNA continued to extend, and here we are. And so we got to say that we didn't do that act, but man, it's because of that act that I'm here. So I'm made up of it all. I'm good and bad, but therefore I am, and I accept it. Whatever greatness that all of my ancestors had, I accept that I am them in this day and time, in this day and time. You understand? And do better with what they did with it. If they use their mastery to enslave people as a colonizer, you use your mastery to free people as a savior. You understand that same mastery can be wielded to save lives, right? The sword can cut the ropes off of you, but the sword can stab you too. So we recognize all the harm that's been done with the sword throughout life, but please understand, man, that same tongue that could be used to destroy somebody can actually lift them up. Don't hate your ancestors for how they used it. Thank them for perfecting it and passing it on to you. You do something different with it. But accept your inheritance and accept that you are creating an inheritance right now inside of you. And if you understand that, you would change how you live your life. You would change how you pick your partners. Because why would you want to bring a body into this world, a soul into this world, and not think that through? You don't even know who this other person is you laying down with. Your future self is going to have them as a mother or them as a father. Not just that, they're going to have their DNA. All the crap that they're doing, your child going to have to battle that as demons. Yo, put more time into yourself so you can leave more of yourself to your children in the positive aspects. The things that you, if I were to right now start studying something or challenging my mind to grow in certain areas, my child is going to recoup that. They're going to receive that. If I work out hard and play basketball, my children are going to have those skills be easier applicable to them or accessible to them than a person who didn't come from that type of stock. As you begin to work out, you might not be very athletic, but the more you train, your body and DNA changes and you will become athletic, making your children athletic. You ever see somebody say they got basketball ability from their mother or their father? They got football ability from their parents. They got that boxing from their daddy. Check this out, family. You know sports are man-made, right? So it would be very weird for you to be carrying around basketball in your DNA when that is an actual sport that's made up, right? What you got passed on was the skills to play that sport, and your parents are who manifested them in themselves first, and they passed that on to you. And what we're calling inheritance is paper money that we also created. And so if we don't leave a lot of that to our children feel like we cut them short when really, man, we left them everything they need inside of them. And then we feel inadequate if we can't leave a tangible inheritance. And really, you're not promised tomorrow. So in order for you to leave a tangible inheritance, man, you're going to need some time. And you're going to have to be successful for a while to leave money that your children can spend. You ever thought about the idea of planting a tree that you can't eat the fruit from? I was talking to my son the other day about a bonsai tree and how they take 10 to 15 years to grow one if you grow it from a seed. And how the parents, the people who create these bonsai trees, they pass them down to their children for them to sell. Because likely they won't be here once the tree completely reaches selling capacity. You know how much thought that is to invest into your lineage? I'm going to create these bonsai trees. And by the time 10 or 15 years from now, my children will have a lot of them to make because I'm going to spend the next 10, 15 years making them. Every single year, my children will have more bonsai trees to sell. And they sell for a great deal, especially if you know how to do them right. But that type of business, family, you're not looking for it to flourish until 10, 15 years from the day you started. Most of us, man, if we can't see the light from the end of the tunnel on day one, we're ready to quit. We don't know anything about patience. We're too busy chasing the fast life. That's why I try to encourage y'all, take your eyes off of the exterior world and put it on your innermost and start creating, because you can have in a day, in a week, what would be equivalent to someone else's lifetime if you use the gifts inside of you. Like that song that you write could bring you millions, but you can keep going in there working for that man every single day, for that company every single day, and you wouldn't retire with as much money as you can make off that one thing that came out of you. But you don't trust yourself. And that's the sad part. I don't care what reality look like. That's what it means when it says faith is by what's inside of you and not by sight. I don't care what it look like. You got to create regardless, because it's in you to create. What was put in you, if you don't put it out, you being disrespectful to your ancestors and to your future children. Do you understand? Take the time, family, and start thinking about your future self, family. They are your only ticket to the future. You understand? So put time into your crafts, put time into your hobbies, work on your well-being, work on your mental intelligence, work on your emotional intelligence. Try to vibrate yourself into your highest form of being, so that when you have children, you bringing them in with an inheritance to build off of. You are the baton that you passing on to your child. You see what I'm saying, family? You're the time machine, but those abilities and skills that you're manifesting right now are going to be the baton that you hand to your child. Your child gets to take that into the future with them. You understand? Don't be discouraged, family, if you don't have the money right now. I know right now you might be thinking, if I lose my life today, I failed my children. I wasn't able to leave them anything. But let me tell you something. Start leaving your children something today. Give them a jewel today. Give them something powerful today that they'll never forget today. And start doing it every single day. The greatest things that you know, start teaching them now. Don't start thinking they got to be older to get it. All those things that you say, I wish I would have knew then, what I know now, start giving that to your children now. Give them the best of you. Don't feed them your old imaginations. Don't feed them your old religions. Don't feed them your old, fables. Give them information and rightful information that they can use, that can be practical, that can catapult them into a better life. Trust me, y'all. Start thinking about the character of the women that you sleep with, kings. Start thinking about the character of the men you sleep with, queens. Him having money ain't everything. Fellas, her having a nice body and a pretty face is not everything. Beauty fades, and you know that. So in 20 years, you got children by this woman who was pretty 20 years ago, and she still got the same horrible attitude that she had then, and it's being passed on to your children. What you gonna do now? Because you was thinking for the moment. We short-sighted, family. We're short-sighted. You got to see into the future. You got to see through the eyes of God. I need you to look into the future and see your grandchildren. Stop seeing you with a car. Stop seeing you with a damn necklace on. Stop seeing you with this idea of what you think will make you successful, and start seeing your children reaping the benefits of all the hard work you put in. Imagine yourself planting a tree that you won't get to eat the fruit of. Are you willing to do that? Life is about sacrifice, right? You know that? Every animal that's alive on this planet, in order for it to survive, something gotta die. Every time. Every time. Do you understand? In order to survive, something has to die. As much as we don't like the word death, something dies just for you to eat, family. For you to have your very being, something has to die. So life is about sacrifice. So what are you sacrificing? Sacrifice your life. You're eating animals every day. You're eating plants every day. Death is consuming you every day, giving you life. Do something with that. Be grateful for it. Be grateful for it. With the life that I have in my body, I'm going to sacrifice that energy and give that to my children, because that's what's more important than anything. Let me invest in my children. Let me give my children something today that they can think about that'll make them better men and women for tomorrow. And I'm starting today. I'm not thinking like, let me raise up this money. I'm never around my children because I'm trying to make this money to leave them. And I'm so nervous about it all the time because things keep happening and I lose the money, or I'll spend it on something, or I lose my job. Something always go wrong. And here I am, 45, 50, 60, and still don't have an inheritance. Stop being discouraged, family, and start leaving that inheritance today. Start making better decisions today. It is not too late. Okay, family? Claim your true inheritance by saying, I forgive my predecessors. I forgive them. I forgive them. I'm letting it go, because all I'm doing is creating a hell for myself. Whenever I'm mad at them, they don't know about it. Half of them are already dead, and we're still mad at them, unable to move forward because we're using this, it's like a ball and chain to hold us back. Let it go. Let it go. I love y'all. That's the message, family. Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame by lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it's in that chaos that you find yourself. And you said you're 20, and that's amazing that you're 20. That means that you got time to build towards that. Start putting time into your legacy today, King, and start working towards everything that you know is the greater versions of you. Those parts of you that you know are not, that you consider flaws, just ignore them. What you don't focus on disappears. what you focus on grows. So start focusing on the greater aspects of yourself. Do you understand? And manifest your greatest self through your children, family. Meet the best partner that you can find and work with them, negotiate with them, and create the best relationship that you can have so your children can witness that growing up and they won't have the same traumas that you had growing up. Raise your next self without the same traumas that your past self gave you. But accept your past self for all of their failures, knowing that they was just a human trying. They didn't know the right thing to do and then did the wrong thing, so you don't need to punish them. And you just need to forgive them and let it go. Because they didn't mean to hurt you. They were trying their best and they were humans doing what humans do, and hey, it is what it is. So let's now challenge ourselves to do the best with what they gave us and not use excuses to hate them. Okay? All right, family, I love you all. All right, be evolution, be the change you want to see. I said that already. Don't need to say it again. Let me get my boys up inside this mall.
Nah, no candle ever loses a flame for lighting another.
Oh, okay, there we go. He said, yeah, you might as well finish. You got that far.
What happened? If you find yourself amongst chaos, it's within that chaos that you find yourself.
That's a fact. You see that? The inheritance is already being passed on. You see that? Listen, if something happened to me, stay tuned into my channel because you're going to see them back there. Justice already getting groomed for it. He be dropping jewels already, so. All right? Peace, y'all. See y'all soon. Tell them peace, y'all.
Peace.
Easy say peace, Jamie.
Peace.
All right, peace, y'all.